Hey everybody, Punisher Comics here, and it's time for a movie review. Yes, finally. The last official movie review I did came at the beginning of June, where I reviewed Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. And I know probably a couple of you out there are already going, but wait, didn't you just review Batman and Bill? Yes, but that was a documentary. I consider documentaries and regular movies two totally different things. But let's not get all caught up in technicalities here. I'm here straight up to review a movie, and that's that. And the movie I'm going to be reviewing today is the movie that a lot of people were saying was going to be the savior of the DC cinematic universe. Yes, folks, I am talking about Wonder Woman. So, without further ado, let's get to this review, shall we? So, to summarize things, we have another world war, another cache of German superweapons intended to rain death upon an unsuspecting metropolis, another act of supreme self-sacrifice, and another guy named Chris playing another guy named Steve. Just to sum things up a little bit. So there are moments in Wonder Woman that recall Captain America, the First Avenger, a little too closely for comfort. But the principal difference, of course, is that this Chris Steve, and that would be, of course, Chris Pine playing the role of Steve Trevor, is not the movie's principal hero, but rather the sidekick and love interest. And there was some reason to actually be a little leery of this arrangement, because Pine is an established movie star, and it turns out a more than solid actor. While Wonder Woman is played by the relatively obscure Israeli actress and model Gal Gadot. So, would she be able to hold her own, or would this really serve as yet another chapter in the difficulty of accommodating female characters into the most boyish of genres, the superhero movie? Well, happily, Gadot does hold her own with exceptional poise and gusto, whether it's bantering with Pine or straight up just charging into a nest of German sniper fire. So, thank goodness for all that. Sorry, mouth was getting dry. Now, following its iffy outing with director Zack Snyder's Man of Steel and the sequential disasters of Snyder's Batman v Superman and the Snyder-infused Suicide Squad, DC Comics and Warner Brothers needed an installment in their universe-building effort that was, how do I put this? Oh yeah, not awful. So, befitting its World War I setting, Wonder Woman has a certain throwback charm. With Gadot and Pine playing off one another as good-naturedly partners in a 1930s screwball comedy. And it's a vibe that stands in particular contrast to the bitter Snyder-esque unpleasantries. I mean, I just think of the line, do you bleed? You will. I know, it's a terrible Batman impersonation, but still. And, that characterized the movie's immediate DC predecessors. Anyway, so after a brief framing scene in the present day Diana Prince, we see Diana Prince working as a curator at the Louvre in Paris, and we see that she receives a package from Bruce Wayne. And then after opening the package, the movie takes us back in time to Themyscira, which I will admit the scenery is beautiful when we see the island and everything. Oh my god, stunning. And of course, Themyscira, the legendary island of the Amazons, and there we see a young Diana being told by her mother, the Amazon queen Hippolyta, who looks amazing, by the way, especially when she's perched up on her white horse. Oh my god, really, really cool. And how the later sculpted her out of clay and then had the god Zeus breathe life into her. And of course, like most origin stories told to young children, this one proves not to be entirely accurate. But anyway, so then a little bit after, we see Diana wants to train to be just like the proud, immortal warrior women all around her. Of course, her mother opposes the idea, but her aunt, General Antiope, is all in favor. And the later wins, of course, thus sparing us a movie in which Diana tries to end World War I by writing a thoughtful editorial in the Times of London. Diana also learns about the war god Ares, the son of Zeus, who was defeated when he rose up against his father a whole millennia earlier, but is believed to be on the prowl once more, fomenting discord in the world of men. Ooh. So then, Diana herself knows little of the world of men. I mean, her females only island being protected by veils of fog and a magical force field and all. But that is until who should fall out of the sky and through said force field but United States Air Force Captain Steve Trevor, piloting a German fighter plane that he stole while on an espionage mission. And, we see Diana ask him, would you say you're a typical example of your sex? I laughed when she said that. And, yes, she is going to be awfully disappointed by the outside world. So after dispatching the squad of Germans who were following Steve, Diana agrees to help him leave the island and deliver the intelligence he's gathered, which he believes could turn the tide of the war. She's also convinced that Ares must be behind such rampant bloodshed, and she's largely correct on that. And that, once the Germans are freed from his influence, they will be good men again, statement she says, had me going, ooh. She's pretty far off on that one. So after Diana, arms herself with sword, shield, and truth-impelling lariat, it's off to London. And it's funny when they get there, because we see her, she's looking around, she's just like, oh, it's hideous. And then from there, it's off to the war front in Belgium. After that, the villains are introduced in the form of a German general played by actor Danny Houston, who is a awesome actor, by the way, and his evil scientist henchwoman played by Elena Anaya. Hey, I says them how I sees them. Who, in the end, becomes the supervillain Dr. Poison, one of Wonder Woman's more famous rogues, which I thought was pretty cool. I mean, coming from the diehard fanboying on comics perspective, but I'll get into my reasons on that a little bit later. Meanwhile, a high up in the British War Cabinet helped Steve and Diana put together a likably motley quartet of comrades to assist them. Now, after all that, while our heroes managed to put an end to the war to end all wars, we also got to ask, will Ares eventually show his true face? Is the human race, with its hatred and its wars, even worth saving? Now, you can probably guess the answers to all those questions, and they are, as usual, largely besides the point. So, directing from a script by Alan Heinberg, Patty Jenkins really favors character over conflict, an approach that yields precisely the happy results one might have anticipated from this film. Godot in particular is a delight as Diana, supremely capable yet utterly innocent. A big fish who has left her little pond and now finds herself out of water altogether. And as her guide to the ways of the masculine world, which consists principally of lying and pointless fighting, Pine's Steve Trevor is equal parts cynical and as well captivated towards Diana. Now, I will be honest with you, Wonder Woman, I find, does have its share of flaws, Again, nothing can be perfect, so to the ones out there who thought this movie was 100%, aces right across the board, I apologize now. So, at 2 hours and 20 minutes, I find it's considerably overlong. A more compelling villain, I think, would have helped matters. But again, it's nice to see them, give a little nod of the cap to one of Wonder Woman's old school rogues. And one scene in which Diana brutally impales a foe with her sword, I think, is a little unsuitable. Fit with the movie's overall tone and all. I don't think they really needed that. But anyway, also it seems a bit retrograde to have the first big female-led superhero film end with the lesson that only love can truly save the world. You know what I mean? Like, come on. Especially given the abundant evidence that, well, what actually saved the world was Wonder Woman simply kicking ass all over Belgium. So anyway, that's just my look at it. The final big action sequence, as well as now seems always to be the case, I think, is a messy and overwrought CGI extravaganza. I was not a big fan of a lot of the, Matrix-y kind of stuff. I mean, here and there it looks cool. You do a shot of Wonder Woman doing, a super punch or something. Okay. You'll get me on that. I'll be like, oh, hey, that looked cool. But almost every shot was a lot of that slow-mo kind of stuff, and it wears itself out pretty fast when you see it, in sequence. So I was like, anyway. But at least the movie that precedes it involves actual characters, likable ones even. So, exhibiting recognizable human emotions and all. So here's hoping that DC and Warner Brothers, have registered the value of such straightforward pleasures in time for Snyder's upcoming Justice League. If even he can learn such a lesson, perhaps there's hope for the human race after all. Now, overall, even with my little gripes here and there on the movie, I give Wonder Woman a solid 3.5 out of 5. I think that's a reasonable score, and I'm sticking to it. Anyway, folks, that's it. That brings us to the end of another movie review. I'm trying to think what the next one I might review. I was going to review Transformers, and then I was like, screw that noise. So I'm thinking probably the next movie I'm going to review is either going to be Spider-Man Homecoming, which I will be seeing this weekend, or Atomic Blonde, which comes out at the end of this month. And what's really cool is I was recently reading the trade paperback that movie is based off of, and this thing is awesome. So I really have high hopes for the movie. So yeah, really look forward to that. So 2 big movies this month that you guys will potentially be getting reviews for. So anyway, folks, this video has been long enough. We're already over the 17-minute mark. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, give her a thumbs up. If not, give her a thumbs down. And if you enjoy movie reviews like this one, well, check out the playlist I put together of all my other movie reviews. There's not a lot of them because I don't want to, go down that rabbit hole. But I did say I would review movies sporadically, especially ones that are, comic related. So, it fits my channel and whatnot. And, yeah. Also, while looking around my channel, make sure to comment on any video you like because I love reading them as well as answering them. And also, while looking around, make sure to like or dislike any video you watch. Yes, I did say dislike because, let's face it, no one's perfect, right? And then, when all is said and done, before leaving, make sure to click that subscribe button. Alrighty, so that's it for me. But I will see you guys back here on Wednesday for another weekly dose of Lane's superhero or supervillain goodness. So, till then, I'm Punisher Comics, and I am out.